Hello, and welcome to the first public information meeting for the Keystone Avenue Bridge Replacement Project. My name is Sara. I'm the project manager for the Regional Transportation Commission of Washoe County. Our team's really excited to be moving this project forward, and I'm happy to be able to share more information about the project with you today. In this video, we're going to discuss the purpose for the project. We're going to learn more about the initial screening process. What are the next steps for the project? And I'll also tell you how you can provide valuable input to help our project team. This project is located to the west of downtown Reno, where the Keystone Avenue corridor crosses over the Truckee River. The primary focus area for the bridge replacement is shown in the blue circle. RTC is evaluating the full extent shown in orange from First Street to California Avenue. So this is our first public meeting for the bridge, but there's quite a bit of background in the project area. The Federal Highway Administration and the Nevada Department of Transportation have allocated funding for the bridge's replacement, but we're also considering some past studies, including the 2014 Keystone Avenue Corridor Study, as well as Truckee River flood management plans and what they have in the project corridor. The project work has also been identified in the 2050 Regional Transportation Plan, which is why the RTC is leading the bridge replacement. The current phase of the project is the feasibility study. And so this feasibility study is going to design the project scope in collaboration with stakeholders and the public. This feasibility study will apply multiple levels of screening to all the project concepts to make sure that only viable concepts are taken on for further study. Public engagement is a really important part of this feasibility study, so I really appreciate you tuning in to watch this video. The goal of the feasibility study is to end with a preferred alternative for further design and for full environmental study. It will take place over about a 12-month period through the first half of 2024. The project is going through a screening process, and that takes the broad needs and the world of possibilities and converges all those needs into one preferred alternative. Stakeholder and public engagement is a key part of this process. Again, that's why we're here talking with you today, and that's where we are in this flowchart of our project process. Let's talk about some of the needs and goals of the project. The 4 goals shown on the screen here were developed in collaboration with the project development team, which includes stakeholders from the City of Reno, the Nevada Department of Transportation, and the Federal Highway Administration, as well as the Truckee River Flood Management Authority. Some of those goals include replacing and rehabilitating the bridge, accommodating bikes and pedestrians on Keystone, vehicle connectivity on Keystone, as well as a project that is ultimately compatible with TURFMA plans. These needs and goals feed into what is the project purpose. Since the bridge will be in place for a long time, the project team is also reviewing the connectivity to the north and south of the bridge to make sure it serves all the transportation needs of the community now and well into the future. So let's talk a little bit about how the project is developing to meet this purpose. The project team is starting by screening 2 primary subjects in the project area. Subject 1 considers the needs of all modes crossing over the Truckee River within the project area. Subject 2 focuses on the convergence of Booth, Foster, Keystone, and California on the south side of the Keystone Bridge. To evaluate each of these subjects, we're using screening criteria, and these allow us to assess how well each alternative meets the needs of the community and if there are any impacts or costs that may make the alternative infeasible. Some of these criteria include constructability, overall cost, safety, environmental impacts, property impacts, and stakeholder support. We'll start with subject number 1. So within the project corridor, we collected vehicle, pedestrian, and bicycle data, and this was used to guide our process. We see that the highest traffic volumes are along Keystone Avenue, which connects the residential Southwest Reno community up to Interstate 80. And then we see the highest pedestrian and bicycle volumes on Riverside Drive and Booth Street. For that reason, it's very important that bicycle and pedestrian connectivity is maintained from Riverside Drive to Idlewild and Booth Street. The existing Keystone Bridge itself has 4 lanes of traffic with currently no pedestrian or bicycle facilities. In evaluating what the new bridge should be, we want to assess the benefits of accommodating bikes and pedestrians on the new bridge, and also understand what the impacts of a potentially wider bridge might be that includes all of those facilities. Some bridge concepts that we considered but were ultimately rejected include a 2-lane and a 4-lane section with pedestrian sidewalks on both sides of the bridge. When we consider the bicycle and pedestrian circulation in the area, we can see that the west side sidewalk does not really provide a significant benefit in access or connectivity compared to the costs associated with providing that. For this reason, an alternative with sidewalk on both sides was not advanced to the level 2 screening. Based on the screening criteria, the project team narrowed the concept down to 3 alternatives for further development. These include alternatives with 2 and 4 lanes of vehicle traffic. For both lane configurations, we'll study a multi-use path on the east side of the bridge. This path would link the Newlands neighborhood to the north side of the McKinley Arts and Culture Center. So Subject 2 considers the Keystone and California intersection. We studied several intersection modifications, some of which were based on configurations from the 2014 corridor study. Some of these that were considered but ultimately rejected included removing direct connections from Keystone Avenue to Booth Street and Keystone Avenue to California Avenue. These were rejected due to the high costs and also the unacceptable traffic delays. Options that maintain all existing connections will be carried forward for more study. Both of these options will include bicycle and pedestrian improvements and potentially a new bicycle and pedestrian connection to that east side path on the bridge. The primary difference between these options is the extent of construction at California and Keystone Avenue, and that is in order to accommodate larger vehicle movements at the intersection. So what are the next steps for this project? Based on the results of the level 1 screening and the public and stakeholder input, we're going to advance these concepts into the level 2 screening. In that level 2 screening, the bridge, the roadway, the bicycle and pedestrian connections will all be studied in more detail, including how they're going to be built and any opportunities we have to improve the experience for the public. Level 2 screening is anticipated to determine a highest rated alternative, and that is what we would like to advance on to design and full environmental review. An important part of this project stage is getting input back from the public. There are several questions we would really like feedback on, and you can go ahead and submit your feedback on keystonebridgeproject.com through December 28th, 2023. So some of these questions that we would like to ask are, do you have any current safety concerns within the project area? Also in the project area, considering that bicyclists and pedestrians currently use the Booth Street Bridge to cross the Truckee River, do you think that pedestrian and bike facilities are also needed on the Keystone Avenue Bridge? What is your biggest concern for upgrading the existing California Avenue and Keystone Avenue intersection? And finally, is there anything else you think the project team should know within the project area? We really appreciate your input. With that, I sincerely appreciate you watching this video to learn more about the Keystone Avenue Bridge Project. For more information, please visit keystonebridgeproject.com or rtcwashoe.com.